Some Mayavadi scholars argue that Srimad Bhagavatam was not compiled by Sri Vyasadeva, and some of them suggest that this book is a modern creation written by someone named Vopadev. In order to refute such meaningless arguments, Sri Sridhar Swami points out that there is reference to the Bhagavatam in many of the oldest Puranas. This first shloka of the Bhagavatam begins with the Gayatri mantra. Where does it begin with Gayatri mantra? In the Gayatri mantra, there is a word Dhimahi, and notice here also Dhimahi. I do meditate upon Dhimahi. So this Dhimahi is an indication that this book has something to do with the Gayatri. This first shloka of the Bhagavatam begins with the Gayatri mantra. There is reference to this in the Matsya Purana, which is the oldest Purana. In that Purana, it is said about the Bhagavatam that in it there are many narrations of spiritual instructions, that it begins with the Gayatri mantra, and that it contains the history of Vritrasura. Anyone who makes a gift of this great work on a full moon day attains to the highest perfection of life by returning to Godhead. Where is this reference? Here it is, quoted by Sridhar Swami. Yathoktam, as it is stated, but Matsya Purana, in the Matsya Purana, Purana Dana Prastave, in connection with giving charity of the Puranas. And the quote begins, Yatradhikritya Gayatrim Varnyate Dharma Vistaraha Vritrasura Vadhupetam Tad Bhagavatanishyate Likhitva Tachayodadya Dhemasimhas Samanvitam Praushtapadyam Paurnamasyam Sayati Paramam Padam Ashtadasha Sahasrani Puranam Tatra Kirtitam. So the idea is that this Bhagavatam begins with the Gayatri mantra, and it profoundly explains religious principles. It contains the killing of Vritrasura as a topic, one who writes it down, and one who gives in charity on a full moon night of the Praushtapadi. He attains the supreme abode. This Purana has been said to have 18,000 verses. There is reference to the Bhagavatam in other Puranas also, where it is clearly stated that this work was finished in 12 cantos, which include 18,000 shlokas. Sridhar Swami. Purana Antarecha, as it is stated in another Purana, Grantho Shtadashasahasro Grantho Dwadashaskanda Sammitah Hayagriva Brahma Vidya Yatra Vritra Vadhastatha Gayatriya Cha Samarambhas Tadvai Bhagavatam Viduhu. That this sacred book contains an equivalent of 18,000 shlokas, and it is comprised of 12 cantos. And in this book, there is a description of the horse-necked one and spiritual knowledge. In Tattvasandarbha by Jiva Goswami, this is referred to Yatra Vritravathasthatha. And in this book, there's a description of Vritrasura's killing. Gayatriyacha Samarambha. The book has been properly commenced with the description with the Gayatri. Tadvai Bhagavatam Viduhu. The authorities know that literature to be the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Padma Purana also, there is a reference to the Bhagavatam In a conversation between Gautama and Maharaj Ambarish, the king was advised therein to read regularly Srimad Bhagavatam if he desired liberation from material bondage. पद्मपुराणे अम्बरीशं प्रति गौतमोक्तिः अम्बरीष शुकप्रोक्तं नित्यं भागवतं शृणु पठस्व स्वमुखेनापि यदीच्छसि भवक्षयम् इति. It is also stated in the Padma Purana that Gautama spoke to Maharaj Ambarisha. O King Ambarish, you must always hear the Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Shuka. You must study it, you must recite it by your own mouth also, if you desire the cessation of material existence. Under the circumstances, there is no doubt about the authority of the Bhagavatam. So the idea is that Srimad Bhagavatam is an ancient, authentic literature put down in writing by Vyasadeva, as we will understand later on. The Srimad Bhagavatam was originally spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Lord Brahma in the beginning of creation, and the message of that is known as the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam in seed form, only 4 verses. Then Lord Brahma explained it further to Narada, his son and disciple, who explained it to Vyasadeva, who then presented it in the form of large literature, taught it to Shukadeva Goswami, and then afterwards Shukadeva Goswami taught it to Parikshit Maharaj and other sages, in which Suta Goswami was there, and then Suta Goswami also spoke. Then finally Vyasadeva collected all this, put together, published it as the book whose Sanskrit text Prabhupada is commenting on. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is fully authoritative, and we should not doubt its authority. Within the past 500 years, many erudite scholars and acharyas like Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Vallabhacharya, and many other distinguished scholars, even after the time of Lord Chaitanya, made elaborate commentaries on the Bhagavatam. So the idea is that the Bhagavatam is a very, very very serious book that has been studied and taught in amongst the Vaishnava communities. For instance, we have Jiva Goswami, who wrote the Krama Sandarbha commentary. Sanatana Goswami commented on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is known as Dashama Tippani, notes on the 10th canto. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he, of course, the original commentator Sridhar Swami was there, and he had appeared prior to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But within the past 500 years, these are personalities who had written. Vishwanath Chakravarti appeared about 100 years after Jiva Goswami, and he presented a simpler commentary on the entire Srimad Bhagavatam based on Sridhar Swami, Jiva Goswami, Sridhar Swami, Sanatana Goswami, and Jiva Goswami. And he really simplified what has been taught in the 6 Sandarbhas of Jiva Goswami. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has included the entirety of Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary in his Sanskrit Bengali edition of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a multi-volume edition. Vallabhacharya, he was a contemporary of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vaishnava, who belonged to the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. Sridhar Swami also belongs to the Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. Now, Vallabhacharya wrote a commentary on the first 3 cantos, the 10th canto, and the 11th canto. And his followers, they study the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. And many other distinguished scholars, even after the time of Lord Chaitanya, made elaborate commentaries on the Bhagavad. The idea is that this is a very, very serious book. This is not just some some fabricated literature. And the serious student would do well to attempt to go through them to better relish the transcendental messages. So the serious student should attempt to go through these commentaries by these acharyas in order to more clearly understand the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur specifically deals with the original and pure sex psychology, Adi Rasa, devoid of all mundane inebriety. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uh, is an acharya of the spiritual conjugal relationship uh, between between Krishna and the young gopis of Goloka Vrindavan, and he uh, explains the supremacy of this, and he often highlights this in various parts in his writings. But he is presenting it purely as it is, not the way mundane scholars tend to think of it. The whole material creation is moving under the principle of sex life. This is the center of material existence. Attraction between the genders. In modern civilization, sex life is the focal point for all activities. Wherever one turns his face, he sees sex life predominant. Therefore, sex life is not unreal. Its reality is experienced in the spiritual world. The material sex life is but a perverted reflection of the original fact. The original fact is in the absolute truth, and thus the absolute truth cannot be impersonal. It is not possible to be impersonal and contain pure sex life. Consequently, the impersonalist philosophers have given indirect impetus to the abominable mundane sex life because they have overstressed the impersonality of the ultimate truth. So they have not, these impersonalists have not actually helped humanity. They have in fact created plenty of trouble, even from the perspective of morality. Consequently, man without information of the actual spiritual form of sex has accepted perverted material sex as the all in all. There is a distinction between sex life in the diseased material condition and spiritual sex life. In this world, we are obsessed with conjugal relationships. But if we actually take shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we can understand the spiritual relationship that Krishna has with the young gopis of Goloka Vrindavan. This is fully pure and sublime and transcendental. The young gopis who assist Srimati Radharani, they are actually Lakshmis. They are called Sakhis in Gokula or Goloka, but they are actually Lakshmis, Mahalakshmis, Jiva Goswami explains. And Radharani is the original Mahalakshmi, Mula Mahalakshmi. And of course, Krishna is Mula Mahanarayana. He is the original source of Narayana. And their activities constitute the original romance. And it is our duty to progress in Krishna consciousness so that we can become absolutely free from material lust, and so that we can serve Radha and Krishna. This Srimad Bhagavatam will gradually elevate the unbiased reader to the highest perfectional stage of transcendence. So we simply have to be unbiased in order to be able to proceed up. That means we should be obedient without bias. It will enable him to transcend the three modes of material activities: fruitive actions, speculative philosophy, and worship of functional deities as inculcated in Vedic verses. Fruitive actions refers to ordinary varna and ashrama duties. Speculative philosophy refers to Brahma Jnana, the intellectual discipline of trying to meditate on, understand and meditate on the qualitative oneness of ourselves and the Supreme Being. Worship of functional deities is demigod worship.